about problem solving. And so when we hear the word problem solving, we are usually thinking about the worded problem in college algebra, or what we call the pre-calculus day, yan. Where in a particular problem are or is represented by an equation or system of equation, and solving that would lead to a particular solution. Now let's consider this particular problem, and the sum of two numbers is 9 and the difference is 6, and what should be the number? So actually a particular solution for this problem, we can actually denote these two numbers by x and y, and we can let x and y be those numbers, and the particular system of equation here is this one, what is this? How do we write this in a particular system of equation? The sum of two numbers is 9, where the two numbers is represented as x and y, so we can write this as this one, x plus y is equal to 9. So how about this one? Their difference is 6. So in fact, we can write it as this one, x minus y is equal to 6, so we have this particular equation, let's say we name it equation 1 and equation 2, yan. And after solving that, or after finding this system of equation, we can actually work with this, to find the values of x and y. So how do we do that? So we can actually use the substitution method to handle this system of equation. And as we can see, if we take the equation 1 as our first equation and represent it as in terms of y, we can write this as this one, y is equal to 9 minus x. And the question here is how do we write this as this one, so hindi lang naman siya lumipat bigla yung x doon, and it will become negative. And actually this particular method is I think they called it ano ba yan, yung nagta-transpose, ayan. These are widely used in in high school, yung transposition, yan. But in fact the reality is it is not like that, the proper way to represent this equation as in terms of y is by additive properties of equalities, so we can actually add a negative of this, to get rid of x here. So actually ganito siya, x plus y is equal to 9, and if we want to get rid of x here, so we can add a negative of x, so mawawala siya dyan, so negative x plus x is just 0, so we have y here. And since we are working with equality, so we can add then dito the negative x, and therefore we have this particular equation or representation of this equation in terms of y, hindi lang natin nilipat agad, by we say that transposition, yun nga, ginagamit ito widely sa high school. And I think there are some authors, or some authors talaga, some authors ng mga Pilipino, they use the word transposition. But in fact pag tumingin tayo sa different books, tapos sinulat siya ng foreign, foreign author, then we cannot find the word transposition, yan. So the proper use here, the proper tools here is the additive properties, yan, additive properties ng equalities. So we have this one, and after solving this particular values ng y, so we have the values of y na, and we can actually substitute these particular values of y in the second equation, so we have x minus this one, y, which is equal to 9 minus x is equal to 6, solving this equation algebraically, we can find that we have 2x is equal to 15, and as we can see here, we can multiply it by the inverse of 2, ano? Yan, the 1/2. So we can cancel it out and we have x is equal to 7.5. And so we can multiply it din, ano, yung kabila niya, kasi we are working with equalities, ano. Now this is 1/2, so 1/2 of 15 is just equal to 7.5. And after that, since we have the values of x, ano, we can pick either of these equation 1 and equation 2, ano, to have the values of y. And so we have this one, and our y is just equal to 1.5. And basically there are some techniques in solving the worded problem, ano, hindi lang ganito. This one is I think much better, ano, and mas maiksi siya, no. This one actually is long yung kanyang pag-solve, ano. But I have these, ano, solutions. Ayan, solutions. We have that, let x and y and those number, and we have this particular linear equation, or yeah, system of equation. X plus y is equal to 9 and x minus y is equal to 6. And actually if we solve this equation, ano, actually we can get rid of the letter y here, ano. Yeah, so if we add that, ano, so we have 2x 0, ano, equals 15, and we have yan, mag-multiply agad tayo ng 1/2 dyan, and both side, and we have x equal to 7.5. And we can use this ano, kahit saan dito ulit, ano. So we have the y is equal to 1.5. So pwede natin siyang gamitin agad, ano, yung ganitong style. So anyway, parehas lang din naman siya ng sagot. Yeah. Now let's try to look at this one, ano, the set work 1. Yan. So for this set work 1, ano, the question here is how much should each receive, ano, if two kids want to divide 5 peso coin or 5 pesos, yan, in sum, into 2, which the one would get higher, ano, peso, mas mataas ng piso yung isang bata, ano. Let's say now, we have the two kids would be Alice and Bob, ano. Yan, si Alice and Bob. And we let Alice would be the higher, ano, mas higher siya ng isa kay Bob. Ano, what do you think about that? So parang mas mataas siya ng isa kay Bob, ano. Parang ganun. Pero we can actually write at this one as yan, ano. Since Alice and Bob, ano, dito sa first stanza niya, or sa first word dito, ano, two kids want to divide 5 pesos, ano, which is the Alice and Bob, ano. Sabihin natin si Alice, hindi, wag na. Ayan, A and B na lang, ano, Alice and Bob. Let's say Alice and Bob, yan. So if they divide the 5 pesos, ano, so we can have this particular system of equation, which is a plus b, ano, equals to 5. And now what would be the equation if one of them gets higher, ano, ng 1 peso, ano. Let's say si Alice yon, ano. So if Alice mas mataas siya ng 1 pesos, and what should be their difference, ano. So paano pag pinag-minus natin silang dalawa? So we get actually 1, ano, kasi mas mataas lang siya ng 1 pesos. And you can solve it again, ano, by using this long method actually. Pwede yan. But let's try to answer it like this one, ano. Yan, by this one. As we can see here, if we add both the system of equation, and we can get let's try to name it by equation 1 and equation 2. So if we add equation 1 and equation 2, we get 6 is equal to 0, no? So 2a, which is basically 3, ano. If we multiply it by 1/2 both side, we get number 3. And solving this equation, ano, kahit saan dito sa dalawa, let's say we get the equation 1, ano. Equation 1, we have 3 plus v is equal to 5, ano. And ay hindi natin siya ita-transfer ano doon, ano, hindi basta-basta tina-transfer siya. By additive properties of equalities, we have we can add negative 3 here. So 3 plus b is equal to 5 minus 3. So we have b is equal to 2. And we have these particular values of Alice and Bob, ano, which is Alice get 3 pesos and Bob get 2 pesos. Now, there are some equation or some problem solving that are trickier, ano. Let for example this particular ano example. So, ito pa lang mga binibigay nating problem solving ngayon is just a preparation for the induction the inductive reasoning and deductive reasoning, ano. Ayan. So magagamit natin to. So parang overview lang ito, ano, since I think they already or you already learn it from your senior high and junior high, ano. Yan. So let's continue about this one. So there are a group of birds attempt yan. Tanggalin muna natin siya, ano, yan diyan. There are a group of birds. Sige, pakita na natin. There are two group of birds attempt to land on the group of post, ano. So sinasabi dito na kapag daw ang bird, ano, parang may ano sila, no, may property siya, no. If the birds will land sa poste in 1-to-1 manner, ano. So 1-to-1, isang ibon, isang poste, isang ibon, isang poste. Then the result would be may isang poste, hindi, may there will be one bird which has no post to land. So may isang poste diyan na hindi may isang ano yan, there will be one bird, yan, may isang ibon na wala siyang madadapuan. Yan. So yung isa namang property niya, this one, ano, ito naman siya. If the birds will land to the post in 2:1 manner, ano, we can say it, ano, two birds in isang poste, ano, dalawang birds sa isang poste, then there shall be an excess one post, ano, para may isang poste na matitira. So parang halimbawa we have b sub 1, or yan yung elements ng mga birds, b sub 2, b sub 3 and b sub 4, yan. And we have poste na p sub 1, p sub 2 and p sub 3, ano. So kapag nag 1-to-1 manner sila, may matitirang isang ibon. And I think this one, yeah, this one is the correct, ano, no. Ayan. But we will write mamaya yung kanyang system of equation. Ayan. So B1, B2, B3, kapag 1-to-1 siya, may matitirang isang ibon. Ito yung nare-represent nitong first, ano natin, ano, first condition. And the second condition is kapag yan may b sub 1, b sub 2, b sub 3 and b sub 4, tapos may yan, p sub 1, p sub 2, p sub 3. Pag 2:1, parang ganito siya, no? P is to, ayan, may matitira naman isang poste. So basically meron tayong 4 birds, yan, 4 birds and 3 posts, ano. So do we write it in yan, in system of equation, ano. So first here is let's try to analyze this one, ano. Kapag 1-to-1 sila, then there will be one bird na wala siyang madadapuan, ano, like this one, ano. So the solution here is to let x and y be the number of posts and birds. Yan. Palitan muna natin 'to, no, hindi siya post. Tapos nag-respectively. Itong birds, ano. Tapos ito yung post. Yan, baliktarin natin siya. So let x and y be the number of posts, the number of birds and posts respectively, ano. So kung ganun yan, ano, kung mapapansin natin, mas marami yung birds kaysa sa poste since may isang ibon na wala sa poste, ano. So we can write it actually as since yung bird natin ay x, ano, and y, we can actually have this particular equation, x minus y is equal to 1. Now This one is actually trickier, ano, ito. If the birds will land to the post in 2:1 manner, then meron may excess tayo na isang poste. So how do we write it, ano? So yan, how do we write it like this one? So kung mapapansin natin dito, ano, kung mapapansin nyo, y is ano, pag pinag-minus daw natin yung y and x, sabihin na lang natin muna, y and x may equals to 1. But since we know that the birds here is 2, ano, so parang 1 unit of the poste ay isang unit lang din dapat ng birds, which is tigda dalawa naman sila, no? So we can actually denote it by yan, hahatiin natin sila, no? Since dalawa yung sa isang poste, no? Yan yung nire-represent niya, 1 unit of poste, tapos kapag group ng bird, dalawa yon, ano? So parang ganito siya, no? It represent the group of birds, ano? Yan. So we have y is equal, or y minus x over 2 is equal to 1. Now, let's try to solve this, ano, if we are really correct, ano, with our yan, yung assumption natin na magiging 4 birds and 4 ano yan. Yan. Now, let's try to answer this one. Dito tayo sa taas, yan. So, since we have y minus x over 2 is equal to 1, and we have the other equation which is x minus y is equal to 1. So pag ito ang gamitin natin, ano, mas madali actually talaga to, no? So let's try to, ito yung shortcut na method, ano. So let's try to do that now. So since ang kailangan nating mawala dito ay pwede naman nating pawalain yung x, ano, or pero mas madaling pawalain yung y. So let's try to get rid of this y, ano. So we want the values of x, or the value of x. Yan. Now, so since y yung nauna dito, ano, pwede naman natin siyang baguhin, ano, ito. Negative y plus x is equal to 1. What is that? Anong ibig sabihin nito? Di equal lang ba sila? Yeah, no? Equal lang sila, no? Since meron tayong rules na commutative law, no? If a plus b, yan, equal lang yan sa b plus a, ano? So pwede yan. So yung ibig sabihin, yung x minus y is just equal to negative y plus x, ano? So pwede siyang mabago, ano? So now let's try to input it in our system of equation, and negative y plus x is equal to 1. Now let's add these two equation, ano. Let's say this one is equation 1 and this is equation 2. Now if we add that, ano, so we have 2 here and magiging 0 to. Now what is this one? X minus, or negative x over 2, ano, negative x over 2 plus x. So ano ito? So parang meron kang isang x daw, binawasan mo ng kalahati ng x, so ano yung matitira sa'yo? Yan. So we have x over 2 here. So finding the values of x, we will multiply it by 2, ano. So we can cancel it. So we have 2 din dito sa kabila, no, kasi equality yan. So we have x is equal to 4. So we have the values of x is equal to 4, and we can we can actually solve the value of y, ano. Yeah, tama. So we can solve the value of y, and we have y is equal to 3. Ayan. So sa equation 2 pwede yan. Saglit lang yan. Now, let's talk about this one, ano. Ito talaga yung topic actually natin. Pero meron pa itong ano kasunod, ano, gagamitin din natin siya. Now, so we will discuss now the inductive reasoning. Yan. So inductive reasoning is the method of reasoning in which the premises are viewed as supplying some evidence for truth of the conclusions. This is in contrast with the deductive reasoning, ano. Yan. While the conclusion of the deductive argument is certain, the truth of the conclusion of the inductive argument may be probable, ano, based upon the evidence given. And we can also see here that some dictionary or many dictionary define inductive reasoning as the derivation of the general principle from a specific observation, ano. It is actually we can see here that it is from a specific, ano, from a specific to yan, to general principle. Now let's try to dito tayo, ano, yan, let's apply this inductive reasoning to predict the next number of the following list, ano. Yan. So we have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 here.